Okay, so my little support team, if you could come up real quick. So, thanks for having me again. I always love, this is one of my favorite talks all year because y'all are so smiley. I never get any boos. It's great. So my hopes for this little chat, let me mention something. These little coins are super cute. I have given out a few of these to some really special little kids that I think, honestly, like one little boy last year, he just at first he came into the classroom and he was like, I couldn't get him to do anything, like homework, pay attention, smile in class, anything. Well, then all of a sudden he starts showing up before class to help clean up. I had a little team of fun little students that would come and clean my room for me, praise God, because I would fly in and fly out. Well, after a while he comes up to me and he goes, Mother, I think I'm gonna be a Dominican. I was like, that's a great idea, buddy. And so I gave him one of these little coins. You wouldn't believe what that meant to him. So I haven't handed out a lot of them because I know they're special and I don't want them to become something that too many kids have and just think is you ever seen those little angel coins that come in the mail? Yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. Nobody cares about those because there's too many of them out there. But these little ones, anyway, when they're given to the little ones that are really thinking about it, it's very powerful. So thank you, because you had given me a bunch of these, so. But, okay, so, can you tell there's another novice? Oh, actually, they were postulants last time you came, right? Or no, you're novices? No, you're postulants because you got the habit after. Okay, so this is a lot of review. Life is going too fast. Okay, so what I was hoping to do in this short little talk is give you the highlights, show you the newsletter. I'm very excited about this newsletter. I did make copies, or sister made copies this morning. Literally, we finished this 20 minutes before you arrived, but we'll go into that. But also there's a big event coming up next summer, and I wrote it down because you have been praying for us nonstop. So you get to know first, even before their parents, no joke. Yeah. So they're going to run around and hand these out real quick. It's just save the date if you want to come to our first profession in the Diocese of Bismarck, North Dakota. They'll be making temporary vows for 3 years. So basically, you're going to finally have not just one Dominican, but 4. It's pretty exciting. It means they're signing on the dotted line, they're going to stick around, basically. So it's a pretty big deal. And then also, if you wanted to, so this is, I just brought it last second. If we're going to do these little newsletters, and if you just want to get one regularly, you can come and sign up on here. Or I put also here an address if you want to get an official invitation to their profession, because you've been praying for us and all that so much. Now, should I just pass this around right now so people can sign it? Okay. So just pass it on if it's not something you want to be signed up for. Don't worry, I won't beg you too many times for money, probably every other month. No, just kidding. But real quick, I was gonna have the sisters just share super fast a little highlights from this year. So Sister Gianna Marie, her name got switched, and she's gonna talk a little bit about the studies that they've been doing, just so you understand, being a Dominican is very rigorous. I keep it going. And then Sister Maria Bernadette, she's a fresh novice. Notice her neck is a little stiffer. That's how you can tell, because they think the veil's gonna fall off, but it doesn't. And then she's gonna talk about reception of the habit. And then Sister Mary Elizabeth, she's gonna talk a smidge about what we do in the summer. It's so funny, people think you must be carefree, getting up whenever you want, drinking cappuccinos. No. So she'll pop that bubble.
Very short. Okay. So this past semester, we take classes both online and then also with Mother at the convent in the House of Formation. So online, we take classes with other sisters through a program called the Magdala Apostolate. They're a little program that does Zoom classes with professors from Catholic universities all across the U.S. And in the Magdala Apostolate itself, the people that are in our classes are actually other sisters in formation from across the globe, actually. So we've been in classes with sisters from like Kenya and Scotland and Ireland and Canada, and then all over the US as well. They're a program through the Institute of Catholic Culture. They also offer like free classes for like the laity, so like any of you guys could sign up for them as well. And so the classes we took this past semester were Mariology, the Synoptic Gospels, and then philosophy. And then with Mother, because she teaches us as well, so we take classes with her. So this past semester we took Dominican spirituality, most especially learning about the U.S. Dominicans. So we've learned a lot about the first Dominicans in the U.S. going all the way back to the 1800s and whatnot. And then like our own community's heritage, so going back to the first 4 sisters in Kentucky in the 1800s all the way to leading up to us. And then also we took classes on the vows because we're all novices and we'll be making vows next summer. So we're learning about like what the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience entail. And then also what it is to be a religious. Then we also took a class on liturgy. So just the church's liturgy and you know, the parts of Mass and all this other stuff. And then also the Vatican documents, so the Vatican II documents. We've been tediously going through each one of those, and we're continuing to do that. And then Sister Maria Bernadette, when she was a postulant, was taking a class on the Catechism.
Yeah, so as Sister mentioned, I took a class on the Catechism last semester and really my whole postulancy. And what that was doing was it was preparing me to receive the habit because we wanted to make sure that I was super doctrinally sound before I actually looked like a full-fledged Dominican. Don't want to be asked things and make mistakes.
No heresy.
No. So basically that was a lot of the preparation for receiving the habit was taking the class on the Catechism, and then I actually sewed my habit. So every Dominican learns to sew, and so we actually make our own habits. So the sisters all made their habits as well. And so I received the habit on Corpus Christi, and I also received a new name. So prior to that day, I was called something different, but now I'm Sister Maria Bernadette. And that was done in a private ceremony with the bishop because our idea is that that's going to be more private so that the big ceremony, which is vows, everybody can come to and celebrate with us. And then, of course, going forward, we're going to be continuing our formation, and I'll be learning more about vows, which I hadn't learned about previously because I was just a postulant. So, yeah.
So like Mother said, we don't take vacations. We work all summer. And so we continue our studies, but instead of going through the Magdala Apostolate, they do not offer summer classes. We are 100% homeschooled. It's pretty fun. So we take classes, and our classes now are going to focus more on the 3 vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience in order to prepare us to make those vows publicly in the church. So we're going to take classes on Christian totality, on spiritual theology to help us develop our prayer life in order to like be able to live this life and then take on the busy life of being a temporarily professed sister. And then we also will continue our studies of Vatican II documents and liturgy, as well as every Wednesday the servants of the children of light join us, and we have a canon law class from Bishop where he just comes and goes through canon law with us. It's pretty great, but no breaks. But that's probably how life should be.
So I told you before, we're the Marine Corps. We want to keep that title. But we do have a lot of fun, don't you, Mary? We were talking at our table how we went bowling and we do other things. Lately in the summer, we also do a lot of editing. We've been working on, Dominicans do a lot of liturgy stuff as in there's a Dominican rite. Now, we don't do the Dominican rite out here because there's no Dominican priest, but there's a lot of aspects to how we pray and then making those particular books. So it's a rich life. We love it. We keep busy. We keep out of trouble. And then in the school year, this coming school year, I've been teaching at the St. Mary's Academy the last 4 years, and 1 year before that at St. Joe's. But this coming year, because of all the extra duties I have now, and we're also trying to build a convent so more women can come, it's just been too much. So I can't do the teaching I was doing. So I'm actually swinging into the little homeschooling crowd because it's less demanding as far as what the teacher has to produce. And then also to get more exposure to that group because there's a bunch of kids out there that are doing homeschooling. So, but the main driving force is I have to focus on what the sisters formation. You're not going to get good sisters if they don't have the formation that I got. And I had some fantastic women in my life that I will never take for granted what they did for me and the amount of time they spent on me as a young woman trying to become a sister. So I can't stretch myself so thin that I can't do that for the sisters. So I came to Bismarck to bring you sisters, and that's what I do. So teaching is important. Yeah. Teaching is important to me, but it is still the second thing that we do. And don't worry, the sisters are gonna come. They're wrapping back up. So that's what this coming fall has to bring. Now, here's just, I don't have too much more time, right?
We'd like to be done at 1.
Okay, perfect. So yes, this little newsletter. So we kind of have fun. Basically what the sisters have been doing is they've been studying all these things, and then the assignment is basically writing articles on some of the fun things. So I thought you might like it. So I was like, oh, I should bring copies. We literally finished it this morning, but we've been working on this particular one for a little while to get our ideas down, like types of articles. So the things that we are going to cover in this are basically like updates on what we're doing and then monastic customs. Because one thing I've seen out here is we've had lovely Benedictines out here that have done so much. But Benedictines have a slightly different charism than Dominicans. So just to like put out there a little bit more about how we're a little different, but it doesn't matter. Both are beautiful. And in fact, the more types of sisters we have and brothers, the better. It's not, it's not about one's better than the other. So we have a little column on monastic customs, like why we do what we do. There's, this one's one of my favorites, coming events. So anyway, this is our coming event, just to put another plug for the little barbecue thing. We call this, it says the Taste of Truth. That's gonna be our team name. We're the first times we're entering into the competition. So I wrote here, will the sisters win? Do they really know how to grill? You will taste and see. For the first time ever, the St. Mary's Sisters are participating in the Big Smoke competition. What is the Big Smoke? It's the Serra Club of North Central North Dakota. I think that's such a funny name. North Central North Dakota. That's good. Hosts a friendly competition in the support of religious and priestly vocations for the Diocese of Bismarck. The contestants grill ribs, make sauce, and add a few garnishes, such as potato salad, coleslaw, or bread. The sisters will have some stiff competition from the local diocesan clergy. God willing, our next newsletter will announce the victory of religious life cooking skills over diocesan priestly cooking skills. Feel free to send a good rib recipe or barbecue sauce idea to vocations at stmarysisters.org. We are open to suggestions. So anyway, just, the fun things you get to read in here. We also have a little column on what's in my kneeler, and it talks about book suggestions. Spiritual reading, this one's on a Thomas Dubé book, the Prayer Primer. And then also the heroes of our U.S. history. There's so many priests and religious that have done these amazing things in the history of our church here right on our soil. And so we'll run a column. This one, just to tantalize your curiosity, starts this way. Sister Benvin huddled in the basement of the Nashville Cathedral with her companions as they tried to keep 14 orphans in their care calm. Outside, they could hear the sounds of bullets and were unsure of what they would find remaining of their orphanage when they emerged, for the Civil War was in their midst. I'm telling you, we're good writers. Okay. And then at the very end, we have these columns to show like how rich religious life has been in North Dakota. Sister Mary Elizabeth is doing a study right now of all the communities that have been here. The list is so long. And I was like, people need to know that there's a rich history here and we're bringing it back. So that column is called Our Roots, the genealogy of the St. Mary Sisters, and then the forebears of American religious life. And we'll go through like what has happened and how, at least for us as sisters, our biggest goal here is to show this is for us. Like in this diocese, you can't have a healthy diocese without religious. We need the priests, we need the laity, we need the families, we need the kiddos, and we need the religious. And praise God, you're the crowd that gets it. You wouldn't be sitting here right now if you didn't get it. So really, this newsletter is for you. So I brought it because I thought, well, I think they'll have fun reading it. And so the sisters, they'll hand that out in just a second, but lost my train of thought for just a second. Okay, yeah. So I was just making sure I covered all the little highlights of this year. And hopefully we will see you next summer at our first vows. That'll be pretty exciting. And just thank you again. Please keep the prayers up. We do need a bigger convent, and the plans are already rolling out. I already have property. It's already coming along. But if you keep your prayers going, because your prayers have been very effective, and it's very exciting to be here. I came 5 years ago and just like, okay, Lord, what are you going to do? And now 5 years in, there's all these things falling into place, but it's because you've been praying and you've been supporting the little mission here that I brought from the very get-go. And you'll always take the title of the first to support the St. Mary Sisters. So keep praying and thank you and enjoy the newsletter.